All right, we here. What's going on, people? Brief episode here. Getting ready for the Eagles game. Eagles Buccaneers. First off, hope you guys are having a good weekend. Second off, I hope people that are living down there in Tampa, Florida, the Carolinas, so on and so forth, wherever the hurricane's hitting, I hope they're being safe because I heard that North Carolina got hit pretty hard in certain spots. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but certainly certain spots down there got hit pretty hard. So my prayers and thoughts go out to those people. But that being said, a lot of Eagles fans still travel down to Tampa Bay, even though you have everything going on. So that shows you how we travel. We're a little bit different than other fan bases. But look, you got the Buccaneers at their stadium, 1 o'clock game. Game's going to start in about 50 minutes now at the time of this recording. And look, you have a lot of injuries on both sides. The Eagles, you have Devontae Smith was officially ruled out, I think yesterday or Friday. AJ Brown was ruled out yesterday. So AJ Brown's still dealing with the hamstring. Devontae Smith got the concussion. And you have the bye week coming up. So they're going to rest those guys. They're not going to rush Devontae Smith into action if they don't need to, or AJ Brown into action if they don't need to. Also out, Lane Johnson, he got a concussion in last week's game, so he's officially ruled out. Estimated return date October 13th, I would assume after the bye. And then we have Trevor Keegan out. Well, Trevor Keegan's inactive, Tanner McKee inactive, Byron Young inactive on the injury report. So that right side of that line, that's a tough loss there. So we'll see how they manage on that right side. And then for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have a couple injuries. They have Antoine Winfield. That's the big one. The safety in the middle, he's out. So, October 3rd, estimated return date. But he's not going to be in for this game. And they got Vita Vea back in the middle, so that's huge for them because that's the anchor of their defense. So you have Vita Vea in the middle. He's able to really clog up things at the point of attack in the middle, in the A gap and at times the B gap, and he makes you have to go to the outside, which is going to be a challenge on the right side since Lane Johnson is out. But we'll see how they manage. I still think Saquon Barkley can have a very, very good game. If not through the ground, then catching the ball out of the backfield. Obviously, they're going to have some issues on the outside. Johnny Wilson, I would imagine, would be one of the starting receivers. Jahan Dotson would be in the slot, and then the other receiver spot, maybe John Ross, because John Ross got called up from the practice squad. So he's on the active roster today. We'll see if he gets his first significant snaps as an Eagle today. And then you go ahead and look at this defense against Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's been having a solid season. He's played very well through the first 2 weeks, and then he had a dud last week against Denver. Denver, look, they had a rough first two games with Bo Nix starting at quarterback, but that third game, I didn't see them beating the Buccaneers, but they did. They surprised me, and Bo Nix had a really, really good game. I would assume. Either way, they put up 26 points on them, and Tampa only scored 7. And that. You look at that Broncos defense, they've given up 133 yards and not many scores through the air, if any, through the first 3 weeks. So they are a legit secondary right now, the way they're playing. So they ran into them, and Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, they couldn't get loose. So my hope is that what we saw against the Saints last week with the defense translates over to this week, because look, you shut down Chris Olave. I mean, he got his catches, but he didn't really kill you by any means. Raheed Shaheed, he was 0 for 0. He didn't have any catches. He had a few targets, but he couldn't get it going to him. And he's been one of their best receivers. And then they were getting after Derek Carr, particularly with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, even though the outside pass rush isn't really doing nothing right now. So I think that they can definitely get after Baker Mayfield. They're just going to have to be disciplined, because he like Derek Carr, he can get out the pocket when he wants to and hurt you. So make sure that you're, playing your cues correctly on defense and staying disciplined. Stay in your rush lanes, get after him, man. Because if you put pressure on Baker Mayfield, as with Derek Carr, you can force turnovers and mistakes. You have Irving at running back, and I forgot who their other running back is, but you know they're okay in the running game, but they're nothing special. They do a lot of the basics right, and then on defense, Todd Bowles obviously can draw up a blitz with the best of them. Hell, he might be the best at drawing up a blitz and getting pressure, even if he doesn't have his starters on the field. So you have Rashad White and Bucky Irvin. They're going to be playing. I think Rashad White, he had food poisoning, and then Bucky Irvin, he was dealing with a hamstring injury. He got it in practice last week, but he'll probably be okay. But that's big for him because he has burst. He's starting to take some of the backfield duties, carrying the rock away from Rashad White because he's showing a certain level of burst that Rashad White, as good as he is, doesn't necessarily have. And Bucky Irvin has been definitely making some noise. So, but I still think the Eagles can beat this team. They're currently favored by 1 point on the road. They were favored by 2.5 points on the road. So the fact that they're still favored on the road, even with the news of Lane Johnson being out and A.J. Brown not playing, which they probably anticipated, and Devontae Smith being out, just lets you know how much confidence the odds makers have in the Eagles despite all the injuries. I think the Eagles will win this game probably by a field goal, but it's going to be a real close game. I anticipate that. I don't know what the field conditions will be, how hard Tampa got hit or not. I didn't look at the weather station and all that, but they're going to have to make good decisions, because if you make some of the decisions, in my opinion, the mindless decisions that Nick Sirianni made last week, like foregoing the 3 points before halftime, or kicking a 60-yard field goal instead of punting the ball or going for it on fourth down, if you make those decisions down there, especially if the field conditions aren't ideal, or just because you're just facing a team that's going to heat you up and come after you, because Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni know it's coming. So you have to counter that with screens, a solid run game. Like, be very selective with what runs you're picking based off what defensive fronts they're showing you, and using the quick passing game. Use your hot routes, use your slants, quick hitters. You have to have those already dialed up in your head before you even get off the bus. Like, you can't be in a 3rd and 5 situation and be looking to the sideline wondering what's going on, like, or vice versa. He's looking out there not knowing what he wants to call on the play sheet, and the clock's running down. No, you should have these things figured out yesterday. So as long as they do those things, they'll win the game. If not, they won't. I anticipate them winning by a field goal or so. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are, and yeah, I'm going to get ready to go enjoy this game, and hopefully we get a win before the bye, and we're 3-1 instead of 2-2, and we keep this thing rolling. But till next time, appreciate y'all. Enjoy your Sundays. Peace.